Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Smackdown review. Smackdown tonight was from the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona. And Smackdown tonight, I thought it was a good show, in my opinion. Story-wise, was good. And we had The Rock end up appearing tonight on Smackdown, advertised, along with the Bloodline with Roman Reigns and Jim Uso, Sikoa, Paul Heyman, and The Rock got pretty big on X today, which I will get into. But tonight on SmackDown, we also saw Tiffany Stratton. She had taken on Naomi. We had Bayley and Dakota Kai versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, with a little something that happened in the end. Bron Breakker was in action, and he had taken on Xyon Quinn from NXT. We had a street fight, Carlito versus Santos Escobar. And the main event, we saw Randy Orton in action, and he had taken on Austin Theory. Overall, SmackDown, good show tonight, in my opinion. Really enjoyed the show. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. SmackDown opened up tonight with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, ended up coming out along with Paul Heyman, Jim Uso, and Sikoa. Of course, they're the Bloodline. So they ended up coming out to the ring. They made their way down. So all of them got into the ring. Roman ended up getting on the mic, and he ended up telling the crowd there in Glendale to acknowledge him. So the crowd there in Glendale ended up cheering for Roman, and Roman ended up telling the crowd that they used to be louder. So he told the crowd to do it again. And so they chanted for Cody. We had Cody chants from the crowd. So Roman ended up saying they will try it again. And if it's not up to his page, he will leave. So once again, Roman Reigns here ended up telling the crowd to acknowledge him. So it got a mixed reaction here. Some people cheered for Roman, some people booed. So Roman ended up telling Paul Heyman to fire up the jet, and that they are done here. To which Paul Heyman, the wise man, ended up telling Roman that they can't leave yet, and that he is coming out. And of course that he is The Rock. So Paul Heyman ended up telling the crowd that the biggest star is coming out after the commercial. So SmackDown went to commercial, and pretty much basically, this whole, opening to SmackDown here before The Rock came out was just Roman in the ring, just telling the crowd, oh, acknowledge me, please acknowledge me. That's all it was. So then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had The Rock. The Rock ended up coming out, and he came out wearing these black pants and a very nice dress shirt. So Roman did not look too happy in the ring. So, when Paul Heyman was like, oh, the biggest star is coming out, Roman Reigns just looked to the side by the ropes. He was just looking out. Like he wasn't too thrilled that The Rock, didn't come out, and that he would have to come out after they came back from the commercial. So The Rock got into the ring. Fans were chanting Rocky, and The Rock was about to speak. The fans started booing him. The Rock ended up asking the crowd if they are sure they want to boo him. He ended up saying before he drops gospel on them, he has some news to share. So The Rock ended up saying apparently Glendale is 10 miles away from Phoenix. He then asked the crowd if anyone was there from Phoenix tonight. So, of course, many of the fans ended up cheering, the fans that came all the way from Phoenix to Glendale for the show. He ended up saying that makes sense, and that he did some research. And here is what he found out. The Rock ended up saying that the number one city in America with cocaine and meth use is Phoenix, Arizona. And then he ended up saying, finally, your life has meaning because finally you cactus-loving crackheads have something worth shooting in your veins. And during this whole promo with The Rock here, this whole segment, but The Rock, he ended up cutting a 21-minute promo on X today. And basically, he cut this promo on Cody Rhodes and also Seth Rollins, which I saw a little bit of the promo, not the whole thing, but it made the rounds on X today. So go check that out if you guys haven't seen it. But this segment here with The Rock, cutting this promo, you just had the screen go from blank screen, back, blank screen, back, blank screen, back, blank screen, back. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is this some technical difficulty on WWE's part? No. The reason why it went to black screen and then back to the arena, black screen to the arena, is because of a fan that bought in a Die Rocky Die sign. So now, we got to worry about not only them, editing out, swearing. Now we got them censoring fucking signs. I'm like, get with the program here. First they're censoring swears, and now they're censoring signs. Is this going to be the new norm now? Where if somebody brings in a sign that badmouths, a superstar that's a heel, and now we're going to get a blank screen because of that for future? No. Please stop. God. So stupid. Oh, because it's on Fox. Fuck that. The censoring in this segment just killed it because of that one fan holding up a Die Rocky Die sign. This was supposed to be the most anticipated segment going into WrestleMania, and The Rock cut a promo on Cody, and then you got the censoring turned up to fucking 20 with the whole censoring of, the foul language and also a sign held up by a fan. So The Rock ended up saying that they are all in a good mood. And it's because, once again, professional wrestling is cool, exciting, and electrifying once again. He ended up saying it is why it is sold out everywhere. It's why tonight, in this crack den with popcorn, it's sold out. So The Rock ended up calling Glendale a crack den with popcorn. So he ended up saying that it is greatness among you because of him and the bloodline. So the fans end up chanting Rocky. He ends up saying their hero, Cody Rhodes, is not cool. Rock ends up saying that Cody wants to go one-on-one with the Great One. He ends up saying The Rock hears you and sees you. So The Rock ends up saying no to Cody's challenge. So the fans end up booing that. Rock ends up saying that's not how it happens. He ends up saying the world wants to go one-on-one with him, including every woman in the arena. So The Rock ended up calling the woman crackheads Karen and meth heads Mary, which that got me to laugh. He ended up telling them to calm down. He ended up saying that Cody thinks he can go one-on-one with him when he has the biggest WrestleMania match of his career. Rock ended up saying that they heard his challenge and they laughed, but now he is a businessman and they have a counter offer for Cody. The Bloodline now has a counter offer. So The Rock ended up saying that on night 1 of WrestleMania 40, the biggest tag team match in the history of WWE and the history of pro wrestling will be The Rock and Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. The Rock ended up saying that it won't be a regular tag team match. Rock ended up saying that if Cody and Seth win, then on night 2, Cody Rhodes' championship match will be free of the Bloodline. So that means Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns could just go one-on-one without no Bloodline interference. So Rock ended up saying that they will get the lawyers and sign the contracts. So the fans started chanting for Cody, and The Rock then ended up saying if him and Roman win on night 1, then on night 2 for the match, Cody versus Roman Reigns for the title, it's Bloodline rules and anything goes. So The Rock ended up saying that he might pull up a chair next to Pat McAfee and call the match. He ended up saying that Jimmy could be the referee. Or if Sol Sikoa wants to sing the national anthem. So the fans started chanting for Sol Sikoa. Sikoa then ended up staring at Roman, Paul Heyman, and The Rock and Jimmy. And then The Rock ended up saying he will take his chair and bash Cody's brains in. So The Rock ended up telling Cody that him and Seth have a lot to think about. He ended up telling Cody he expects him face to face next week on SmackDown for his answer. Rock ended up saying that if Cody doesn't accept, everyone knows that he will stop Cody from making it to WrestleMania. So Rock ended up saying that there is no one that can stop him. To which the fans end up chanting for Triple H. So they cheer for Triple H. So The Rock ended up saying that if Cody does not accept his challenge, then him and Roman will end Cody's story tragically. So The Rock ended up calling Cody and also Rollins out for next week on SmackDown, and they'll give their answers. So The Rock was doing his "if you smell," and then we saw Roman put his hand on The Rock's arm and stopped him. So the fans were chanting "holy shit," which got censored on TV. Roman Reigns got on the mic. He ended up saying that he will do anything for his family, but he needs one thing. So Roman then looked at The Rock. He ended up telling Rock to acknowledge him. So The Rock took off his sunglasses. He got on the mic. He ended up saying, "Roman, my family, I acknowledge you as my tribal chief." So The Rock then extended his arm to Roman. They ended up shaking. They shook hands and they hugged. Which after that, the crowd started chanting, "You sold out," to The Rock. So then The Rock, in retaliation to the fans, ended up saying, "This is family, and they will do anything for family." He ended up saying to the crowd, "Now go home and smoke some more crack." And he did his, "If you smell," and then he gave the mic to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns ended up saying, "What the bloodline is cooking." So pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But overall, I thought it was a good segment here. But aside from the censoring of the holy shit chants and the censoring of the Die Rocky Die sign in the crowd, it kind of killed the vibe for me with all that censoring. Still, good segment, but just a little bit of it was killed because of that whole censoring shit. And then we saw Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And they were watching the Elimination Chamber match with Randy Orton getting hurt backstage. In came, LA Knight. Knight ended up asking both Theory and Waller if they have seen AJ Styles. Both of them ended up saying that they haven't seen him. So Knight walked away. In came Randy Orton. Randy Orton was behind both Theory and Grayson Waller. So Orton was watching the clip of him getting hurt, which Austin Theory and Grayson Waller were watching, and Orton started to laugh. So Orton ended up challenging one of them, either Austin Theory or Grayson Waller, to a match later on tonight. So Grayson Waller ended up telling Orton that Austin Theory has always said that he would like to have a match with him. So Orton ended up leaving. He ended up patting Theory. So Theory and Waller end up arguing. Theory ended up telling Waller that he threw him under the bus. So pretty much, that was basically that. So we had, Austin Theory versus Randy Orton later on, which was the main event of the show. And then we had the first match of the night. Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi. It was Tiffy time. Once again. And this was a decent match here. As SmackDown came back from the commercial, Tiffany Stratton, made her way out. Naomi was already in the ring. Thank God we didn't have to hear her awful new theme music, entrance music. It's so awful. So the match got underway. The fans were behind Tiffany Stratton here. So Tiffany Stratton ended up taking Naomi down with a shoulder tackle. Naomi ended up getting back up. She ended up hitting Stratton with a spinning elbow to her face. Naomi then delivered some kicks and then a drop kick to Stratton. Naomi ended up going for the cover and Stratton ended up kicking out. Naomi ended up getting on the ring apron. She ended up jumping over the top rope and she ended up hitting Stratton with a face buster. Naomi ended up going for the cover and Tiffany Stratton ended up kicking out. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Naomi ended up slamming Tiffany Stratton head first onto the ring apron. She went for the cover. Stratton ended up kicking out. Naomi then delivered a knee to Stratton's face. She ended up running the ropes, but Tiffany Stratton ended up delivering a spine buster to Naomi. She ended up going for the cover, and Naomi ended up kicking out. So you had Tiffany Stratton on the ring apron. Stratton ended up raking Naomi's eyes, and the ref didn't even see it. So Tiffany Stratton ended up throwing Naomi face first into the ring post. She climbed the top rope and delivered the prettiest moonsault ever on Naomi. She ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Tiffany Stratton ended up winning the match. Overall, decent match it was. Tiffany Stratton looking good in the ring. The fans are behind her. Everybody's loving Tiffy time here. And you could tell that she is the next new young star that WWE, wants to push, alongside Jade Cargill. Which, speaking of Jade Cargill, I'll get to it later on. And then we had Bayley and Dakota Kai versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. They were accompanied by Io Sky, of course. And this was all just done to set up Dakota Kai betraying Bayley, and Dakota Kai still signing along with Damage Control with Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. And pretty much that's all this was. Match ended in no contest because Bayley ended up sliding to the outside. She had pinned Dakota Kai with some right hands. And this all came about because Bayley ended up going for the tag to Dakota. Dakota then jumped off the ring apron. And that led to Bayley end up hitting Dakota with some right hands. Kairi Sane and Asuka ended up attacking Bayley from behind. And they ended up throwing her in the ring. And all three of them, Dakota Kai, Asuka, Kairi Sane, end up being down on Bayley. Io Sky ended up hitting Bayley with the double knees from behind. And pretty much that was basically that. Obviously, we all knew that Dakota Kai was going to turn on Bayley. And it was all just a setup, by Dakota Kai. So, pretty much that was that. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Damage Control. They were backstage. They were celebrating, from being up on Bayley. And Damage Control stopped in front of Jade Cargill, to which Jade Cargill got a huge pop from the crowd. So Nick Aldis ended up coming in. He ended up telling Damage Control that he will deal with all of them later. And he asked Jade Cargill to enter his office. So that was pretty much basically that. So we had Jade Cargill on the show for just that little brief, period of time. But who knows what they're going to do with Jade Cargill? A lot of people were saying, it could be Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax at WrestleMania. What we saw in the Women's Royal Rumble where Jade Cargill entered and delivered a slam to Nia Jax. So this could lead up to maybe doing a Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill match at WrestleMania. Or they could do Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair. Either of those two will face Jade Cargill. Either Nia Jax or Bianca Belair. If they were to do it, I'm leaning towards Nia Jax. Finish up, what we saw at the Royal Rumble. With Jade Cargill coming in there, slamming Nia Jax. But we'll have to wait and see. And then we saw Bron Breakker. One half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, along with Baron Corbin down there in NXT. It was just, him tonight. Of course, he is on the SmackDown roster. But, he's still working NXT because, like I said, he's one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, along with Baron Corbin. I think at Stand Deliver, they will lose the titles, Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin, and that will lead to Bron Breakker being full-time on SmackDown. But tonight he had taken on Xyon Quinn, because he's from NXT. This was 5 seconds this match lasted, Bell ended up ringing. Bron ended up hitting Xyon Quinn with a spear, went for the cover, and there you go. Braun Breaker won the match. So, a squash match. So moving on. We had a street fight. Santos Escobar versus Carlito. And before the match, started, WWE put up a tribute graphic, for Virgil, for Michael Jones, aka Virgil, who passed away on Wednesday. So very sad, of that news. But thoughts and prayers go out to, Virgil's family and friends. Really sad that, he passed. But the street fight between Santos Escobar and Carlito was very entertaining. The match ended up getting underway. So both Escobar and Carlito ended up delivering some fists. Carlito ended up delivering a takedown to Escobar. He threw Escobar to the outside. Carlito then threw Escobar into the ring steps, and Carlito ended up retrieving a table from under the ring. And of course, we all know how the crowd loves and pops when a superstar, retrieves a table from under the ring. Escobar then delivered a kick and a chop to Carlito's chest, but Carlito ended up throwing Escobar into the ring steps again. Carlito then threw Escobar into the ring, and the fans here were chanting, "We want apples! We want apples!" So now we get "We want apples" chants. So this now was when Carlito has a match, we're going to start hearing the fans chant, "We want apples! We want apples!" Are we going to get that for every match that Carlito has now? So Carlito ended up looking under the ring. He ended up retrieving a kendo stick and also an apple. So the fans ended up cheering for that. And that led to Escobar end up hitting Carlito with a suicide dive. And then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had Carlito having a trash can over his head. Escobar ended up landing a running double knee to Carlito. He went for the cover. Carlito ended up kicking out. You had Escobar end up throwing Carlito to the outside. Escobar ended up going for a suicide dive, and Carlito ended up hitting Escobar with a steel chair. Carlito then got into the ring. He ended up hitting Escobar with a clothesline, and he placed a trash can over Escobar's head. So Carlito hit Escobar with the steel chair. Carlito then ended up slamming Escobar onto the steel chair, and he ended up going for the cover, and Escobar ended up kicking out. So we had Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo end up attacking Carlito, and both Angel, Humberto, and Escobar, they end up triple teaming on Carlito. Escobar ended up hitting Carlito with a powerbomb. He went for the cover, and Carlito kicked out. And then out came Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. And they ended up fighting with Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo on the outside. So we had Angel and Humberto end up throwing Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro into the ring posts. And surprise, we had Rey Mysterio end up returning. He returned tonight. He's been out of action with an injury since November, thanks to Escobar. And Rey Mysterio came out. He was on crutches. Humberto and Angel Garza end up walking towards Mysterio, but Mysterio end up grabbing the crutches, and he hit both Humberto and Angel Garza with the crutches. So Rey Mysterio is all good, not injured anymore. So Escobar ended up looking at Rey, who was walking towards the ring. Ray then got into the ring. Escobar ended up going for a right hand. Ray ended up ducking that right hand. And Carlito ended up spitting, apple mist at Escobar. So Carlito ended up hitting Escobar with a backstabber. Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo got on the ring apron, but we had Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde ended up throwing them to the outside. Ray ended up hitting Escobar with the 619. Carlito then ended up slamming Escobar through the table. We had Carlito end up going for the cover, and there you go. Carlito ended up winning the match. Overall, this was a very good match here, very entertaining. Rey Mysterio coming back was a surprise. So, it was pretty cool. Very good match. Very good street fight. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis was backstage with New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate. So, New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate ended up telling Nick Aldis that they will do what it takes to have a title match at WrestleMania. Nick Aldis ended up saying that WrestleMania is a tall order, but him and Adam Pearce have been talking about the titles, and they will have an announcement they can share very soon. So, there's going to be an announcement of what's coming for the tag titles. And then we saw LA Knight. LA Knight was speaking. Nick Aldis then walked up to Knight, and Knight ended up telling Aldis that he is looking for AJ Styles. Aldis ended up telling Knight that he told him that Styles is not to be here tonight. Knight ended up telling Aldis that Styles flew across the world to screw him out of a match. He then ended up telling Aldis that he will find him at home if he has to. So LA Knight had a chair that Styles ended up hitting him with, and he ended up telling Aldis that there is nothing that Nick Aldis can do about it. So, pretty much that was basically that. LA Knight wants to get his hands on AJ Styles. Main event. Randy Orton versus Austin Theory. Austin Theory was, of course, accompanied by Grayson Waller. Kevin Owens was the special guest commentator for the match. Gotta love Kevin Owens on commentary. He does a very good job, whenever, he does commentary. But this was a decent match here. This was a decent main event. Match ended up getting on the way. Orton delivered an uppercut to Theory. He ended up throwing Theory into the corner. Orton climbed the second rope, and he ended up hitting Theory with some punches. Orton then ended up jumping down. He ended up hitting Theory with a European uppercut. Theory then rolled to the outside, and Orton ended up grabbing Theory and slammed him onto the commentary desk, but Grayson Waller pushed Theory out of the way. Orton then walked towards Grayson Waller, but Theory ended up pushing Orton into the ring post, and that led Theory to slam Orton back first into the commentary table. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Austin Theory was in control of the match. We saw him climb to the top rope. Orton then delivered a right hand. Orton then climbed the second rope. He ended up hitting Theory with a headbutt. Theory went to hit a blockbuster on Orton, but Orton ended up holding on to the second rope, and Theory fell off the second rope onto the canvas. Orton then threw Theory to the ropes, and he ended up hitting Theory with a body slam. Theory got to his feet. Orton then clotheslined Theory to the outside of the ring. Orton then ended up lifting Theory up and slammed him onto the commentary table. Kevin Owens was liking that. He started clapping. So Orton ended up getting payback for Theory slamming him on the commentary table, moments ago. So then Orton ended up kicking Waller. he ended up slamming him onto the commentary table as well. Orton got back into the ring. Theory ended up running towards Orton. Orton moved out of the way, and Theory ended up getting on the apron. Orton then ended up hitting Theory with a DDT. Theory got to his feet. Orton ended up going for the RKO, but Theory pushed Orton into the turnbuckle, and that led to Theory delivering a blockbuster to Orton. So Theory ended up going for the cover. Orton kicked out. So we had later on, Theory ended up grabbing Orton. He ended up going for a draping DDT, but Orton ended up getting into the ring. He threw Theory onto the ring apron. Theory ended up hanging Orton up on the top rope. Theory then jumped over the top rope going for the blockbuster, but Orton ended up hitting Theory with the RKO. Nice RKO delivered by Randy Orton there to Theory. So Orton ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Randy Orton ended up winning the match. Post-match, Grayson Waller ended up hitting Randy Orton from behind. Kevin Owens ran to the ring from the commentary table, and he ended up hitting Waller. Theory then grabbed Owens, but Owens ended up delivering the stunner to Theory. So Owens ended up going to deliver a stunner on Grayson Waller. Waller pushed Owens away. Waller ended up turning around, and Orton ended up hitting Waller with the RKO. And pretty much that was basically that. So SmackDown then went off the air. Overall, decent main event between Orton and Austin Theory. You know, Kevin Owens doing commentary was just great for the match. But overall, SmackDown, good show tonight. But anyways, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I may do a review for AEW Revolution. So we'll see if I do one. But if I do, there will be a review of it. If not, then it will be Monday Night Raw review. So until then, I'll see you all later.